Coming up on Seminole Sports Magazine, we'll hear from the land down under. Florida State has an athlete from Australia making her presence known on the women's cross-country team. Also, if it wasn't for the soccer talent in her family, this FSU soccer player may have ended up playing basketball. Then, this FSU diver has had only one coach since she was 6 years old, her dad. We'll hear from the latest from her new FSU coach. And we'll head inside Tully Gym to listen to the music with the Florida State volleyball team. These stories and more on Seminole Sports Magazine. Hello everyone, I'm Scott Kodak. First up, from the land down under all the way to Tallahassee, Lyndon Hall has become athletically distinguished at Florida State after an unbelievable comeback. Jenny Knipe has more on this Aussie student athlete.
There's an old saying that goes sports is 90% mental, and that couldn't be more true for the sport of cross country. It takes mental toughness to get up day in and day out, lace them up, and just start running. Mile after mile after mile. Up hills, past trees, and over vast countrysides, the mental toughness long-distance runners must embrace transcends all borders, man-made and otherwise. Lyndon Hall developed hers on the other side of the world, running down under, in some of the toughest terrain on the planet.
My favourite place to run in Melbourne is Yarra Bend Park, which is really close to my house, and there's a river and lots of bush and trees.
She's definitely proud of her country. I mean, she's happy to be here, obviously, too, but you can tell that she still has her Australian pride and shows it.
Sometimes there's a few conflicts on the teams. Obviously, we've got a few British, and then there's Lyndon, the one Australian. I think the Australian and British seem to gang up a bit on the Americans. We hear about Melbourne a lot, but Australia always does it the best. She's very proud of being Australian.
Although cross country is not the most popular sport in Australia, that didn't stop Lyndon from traveling across the Atlantic to show the athletes of her homeland that her toughness could measure up. And it's this toughness that helped Lyndon run 4 miles on a trail similar to this one, even after snapping a bone in her foot.
I had a great race up at Notre Dame and was on a bit of a high and really excited for the whole season, what was coming. And then 2 days later, just managed to snap my foot. It was a real massive shock to come down from such a high on the weekend to all of a sudden, well, cross country's done.
She was like a key sort of member of the team that was going to help us, perform well. And I think everyone really missed her. I know at pre-nationals we all wore bows in our hair for Lyndon because she's always the one that wears a bow in her hair.
She was forced to sit out of the sport she loved 1 month for every mile she ran with her broken foot. But in cross country, immediate goals are meaningless. Lyndon plotted her return, and after a season on the sidelines, she was back, healed and with more determination than ever.
Ended up having an amazing track season, which just sort of kept surprising me. Went into nationals just thinking, wow, I got here. Didn't expect to make the final at all, and ran a 4.5 second PB and made it through to the final. Finished 9th in the final and was really close to being All-American, but I guess I'll have to leave something to do next season.
She was so determined, like last track season too, and she just came back so strong. It was awesome just to see how hard she worked just to come back and make it to NCAAs. That was incredible and very inspiring.
After missing last year with my injury, definitely makes this year, that little more determined to do well, and hopefully we can win ACCs again and be on the podium again at nationals, and I won't miss out this time.
Her perseverance is something witnessed by all who have followed her journey. Her hard work is especially evident to head coach Karen Harvey, who named Lyndon team captain after her well-deserved turnaround on the track.
I guess when Coach Harvey told Colleen and I we were captains, at first I was like, oh wow, I only just got here. But then sort of thought about it and realized, I guess we're the big kids now and it's time for us to take charge.
She's a really good person to, follow because she's been through what a lot of people are going through on our team or may go through in the future. And I think injury definitely makes you a stronger person. I think it's definitely made her stronger.
Captain, teammate, role model. Lyndon Hall embodies what it means to be a team leader, to help blaze trails where no Seminole runner has gone before. I'm Jenny Knipe with Seminole Sports Magazine.
Congratulations to the Florida State women's cross-country team on winning their 6th consecutive ACC championship. The Seminoles now set their sights on the NCAA South Regional in Tuscaloosa on November 15th. When we come back, we'll profile a Seminole soccer player whose love for the game is part of her family tradition. And also, Find out more about a new set of songs filling the rafters at Tully Gym. Seminole Sports Magazine is brought to you by Coca-Cola Zero. Real Coke taste and 0 calories. Welcome back to Seminole Sports Magazine. Not all athletes can boast about their competitive streak and record-setting careers both on and off the field. But when you come across that rare athlete who is 100% dedicated to their sport and school, there's no stopping them. As Pascal Mondesir tells us, there is a Lady Knoll that captures the true essence of an all-around tough competitor.
3, 2, 1.
During Cassie Coleman's first season with Florida State soccer in 2010, she was the only true freshman to start every regular season game. And in 2012, she would serve her first year as captain. That is, after she came back from playing and winning gold with the U20 Women's U.S. national team in Japan. Now a senior, defender Cassie Coleman is a powerful force on the soccer field. Hailing from Woodbury, Minnesota, Coleman has been kicking a soccer ball ever since she was 4 years old. But the passion didn't come early on.
My uncle's favorite story is when I was little, I was one of the kids that wasn't super interested in soccer. I was more looking at the grass and that kind of thing. Definitely when I got a few years older, I really grew to love soccer, and that's when I got pretty intense into the sport.
Coleman was a two-sport athlete growing up, playing soccer and basketball. But after following in her siblings' footsteps, she traded in her basketball sneakers for soccer cleats.
Somewhere between playing with her siblings and deciding to compete at a collegiate level, Cassie tapped into her competitive nature, which prompted her to pick FSU over other schools.
I was looking FSU, I visited Virginia, and also it was mainly between the University of Minnesota, which is 20 minutes away from my house.
With her siblings' influence in sports, it's clear that soccer is a family affair.
4 out of 5 of my siblings play Division I soccer. Pretty much all of them are coaches right now, and 2 of my brothers play professionally. It's not just a game to us, it's kind of our way of life, and it's something that brings us all together. After a game, I walk over the stands and my dad will tell me everything I did wrong and the few things that he thought I did right. Having my family and my dad be really hard on myself has definitely kept me going.
A key component for the Seminole defense, Coleman set school records with 17 shutouts. She also contributed to FSU having the fewest goals allowed in the ACC play last year.
I think one of the things that sets us apart from a lot of really good teams is that we are all about the team and that we just play really, really well together. We're able to read each other well. We all defend as a unit. We call it collective defending because it's not just one person, it's the entire team. And I think that's really what makes us successful.
A lot can be said about an athlete's attitude and the position they choose to play. As a defender, Coleman is able to utilize her intense competitive nature. In the 2011 season, she played a large part of the defensive unit that allowed only 2 goals in 3 games during the team's first ACC championship.
A famous quote is, "Defenders win championships," because attackers get all the glory when they score goals, but defenders are the ones who keep you from getting scored on, and if you don't get scored on, then you can't lose.
A player like Coleman makes a big impact on the team. Coach Krikorian knows that Coleman's personality definitely helps her game, and her teammates rely on her leadership and intensity throughout matches.
I'll describe her the same as a person as she is a player. I think she's an intense person, she's serious.
She's a perfectionist, and like so many type A personalities, they want to be exceptional at everything. So probably, when she came in, her individual defending was outstanding.
From the Rec Center in Woodbury, Minnesota to the Seminole Soccer Complex in Tallahassee, Florida, Cassie Coleman has made her mark in collegiate soccer. I'm Pascal Mondesir for Seminole Sports Magazine.
Cassie plans to enter the NWSL draft after college and continue with her soccer career. And postseason time is just right around the corner as the Seminoles are looking to make another run in this year's NCAA tournament. When we return to Seminole Sports Magazine, we'll hear from an athlete who grew up on a farm and has become a record-breaking diver for Florida State. Welcome back to Seminole Sports Magazine. It's now time to review scores and highlights from recent FSU athletic events. Here is Kelsey Portugal to catch you up on all the latest in Seminole athletics.
Hey there, I'm Kelsey Portugal here with the rundown on a winning week for our Florida State Seminoles. ESPN Game Day took over Langford Green Saturday morning. Lee Corso chose his alma mater to take the win for the much-anticipated game against Miami. In the first quarter, with 7 on the board, Jameis Winston throws a pass deep down the middle, intercepted by Miami safety Deion Bush. The stolen possession led to a Miami touchdown. Second quarter, Kelvin Benjamin caught a high pass from Winston, gained 35 yards, and was later taken into the end zone by James Wilder Jr. With only 5 minutes in the half, a screen pass to the left for Devontae Freeman was blocked down the field by 6'6", 322-pound Josue Matias for 48 yards, leading FSU 21-7. FSU dominated the second half with the defense stiffening and holding Miami. Wilder Jr. rushed the ball in for another touchdown, followed by another from Freeman. Roberto Aguayo completed 2 field goals in the fourth quarter, making a school record 65 consecutive kicks, surpassing Dustin Hopkins. Another record broken was having a crowd of 84,409 people who were still there for the fireworks when the clock ran out. Number 3 ranked Florida State crushed number 7 ranked Miami with a final score of 41-14. In turn, letting FSU take back that number 2 spot on the BCS championship poll. FSU volleyball ladies upset number 12 North Carolina in a 5-set match. Redshirt freshman Sarah Burrington tied her teammate Ashley Neff with a record 14 blocks in a 5-set match. The 20th ranked Seminoles continued their winning streak with a 3-0 victory over NC State on Sunday. Thursday night, the number 3 women's soccer team had some excitement as they went into double overtime with number 19 Notre Dame. The Lady Noles trailed the Fighting Irish for the majority of the game until Marta Bukowska-Matthews drilled a shot into the upper right corner of the goal. Bukowska-Matthews proved herself again as she dove for a header in double overtime, giving the Noles a 2-1 victory. That game closed the regular season with a 15-1-3 record. Then on Sunday, the Seminole soccer ladies hosted Duke in the quarterfinals of the ACC tournament. In the 52nd minute, the Noles were given a penalty kick opportunity, and Isabella Schmid took advantage by getting her first goal of the season, as well as putting FSU ahead 1-0. Shortly after, Kristen Grubka drilled the ball into the upper left corner of the net. The final score of the game was 2-0, meaning the Seminoles advanced to the semifinals. What a great week in sports for Seminole Nation. I'm Kelsey Portugal, and that was your Seminole Update.
One diver has overcome humble beginnings in a small farm town to rise to success on a stage, or rather a platform held in high esteem in the Olympics and across the globe. Here is Taylor Duran with how Kelsey Goodman overcame these obstacles to make a Seminole splash.
Despite moving from the cold weather of Ohio to the sunshine of Islamorada and finally landing in Georgia, Kelsey Goodman always found a place to do the one thing she loves: dive. She's left her mark on each town with a splash. In the small city of Moultrie, Georgia, where high school football and farming rules, Kelsey spent her time in the pool. Her time here led her to become a top-ranked diver in the nation.
I started diving when I was about 6 with my older sister, and my dad was just kind of like, "Hey girls, come to the pool."
Kelsey's father presented her with a decision that would ultimately pave her way to college athletics.
I was doing a couple other sports, and the time management just wasn't working, and my dad was like, "What do you want to do? Choose a sport."
This choice began her career as a diver. Kelsey credits a lot of her success to her father. He coached all of her club teams and even her high school diving team. When she began at FSU, head coach Patrick Jeffrey took the reins.
When she came in, she was, a green 18-year-old kid, and she's very talented. She's always really pretty much had really good diving skills. She's been diving since she's been little, but her competitive skills have gotten a lot better over the last couple years.
Over the past 4 years, Kelsey has devoted all her energy to become the best she can be in the water. When she steps onto the diving board, it's her time to shine. But what's going through her head may be surprising.
Not a lot, actually. I have 2 or 3 points that I hone in on in the dive that I think about, and I just kind of count to 3 and go.
This summer, Kelsey went to the AT&T National Championships and walked away the 6th best collegiate diver in the nation.
I don't look at the results at all until I'm done. So in the meet, I wasn't really thinking about that at all. So when I was finished, I had felt really good about how I competed, and when they told me I got 6th, I was excited and like really happy with how everything played out.
Small-town girl to top-ranked national diver, Kelsey Goodman continues to make a splash. This is her senior year, and she pushes herself harder than ever before. Her most recent accomplishment was breaking the school record in the 3-meter dive.
I'm very proud of Kelsey for doing as well as she has on the national level over the last couple of years.
Although Kelsey has broken school records and received 2 consecutive ACC Diver of the Week awards, her skills and character go far beyond the pool.
She's really developed into a great leader. She's kind of a mama bear. She makes sure everybody's going in the right direction.
I want to be like a positive role model for the freshmen so that they can keep passing down like being how to be like a positive and like well-rounded person and athlete and just keep representing the school.
During her final season, Kelsey hopes to make NCAA again and to finish off her career on a positive note. However, her coach has a few other things planned for her.
My biggest goal for Kelsey is for her to really settle in and enjoy the fact that she's a senior member of the team and really let that fuel her confidence. And you know, because she's earned it.
After every practice, Kelsey embraces her coach for a hug to thank him for all of his support. Kelsey Goodman continues to dominate with every flip, turn, and tuck. She has grown into a remarkable Florida State athlete, a dream that began when she was just 6 years old. I'm Taylor Dern for Seminole Sports Magazine.
The USA Diving Nationals will be held in Austin, Texas, December 17th through the 22nd. Check on all updates for Kelsey and the team on our official athletic website of Florida State University, Seminoles.com. When we return, we'll serve up a helping of new music with the Florida State volleyball team. You're watching Seminole Sports Magazine. Seminole Sports Magazine is brought to you by Coca-Cola Zero. Real Coke taste and 0 calories. Our final story takes us inside Tully Gym, where the Florida State volleyball team has taken a page out of the baseball team's playbook. Here's Lane Hurt to tell us how the Seminoles are singing, dancing, and serving to the music.
The walk-up song is a long-standing tradition in baseball. Choosing a special song helps share the personality of a player. And at Florida State, the tradition is no longer limited to the diamond. They're called serve songs, and the Seminole volleyball team picked up the idea on a recent road trip.
We also saw it at Notre Dame. They did it, and we just played them like 2 weeks ago. So I mean, we thought it was really cool, and it worked.
We played Notre Dame about 2 weeks ago, and they had the serve songs playing before they went back to serve, and we just thought it was a pretty creative idea and wanted to incorporate it into our games as well.
Certainly a great idea, but the art of picking the right song turned out to be quite the process.
We kept getting texts like asking what songs we wanted, what songs we were thinking of, and how it would work with the band and everything, so I think that once it finally got together, it was really fun to do.
We had a lot of fun. We were listening to songs here and there in the locker room, trying to figure out what the best was for everyone.
Some players had past history with their choice.
Growing up, people would always make references to my last name, which is Luke, so like Luke Skywalker, I am your father, those kind of things. So I just thought Star Wars was kind of a creative song to go with.
Some like a catchy tune.
This is Mambo number 5.
It's a really upbeat song. I think the tune has some pizzazz, and Lou Bega sounds awesome as always.
Some still don't fully understand their selection.
What does the fox say?
Well, I mean, there's no like big special reason that I chose it. I mean, I think it's funny. I laugh every single time I hear the song.
And others are quite passionate about their song.
And I chose it because it's the best song ever. Duh. I love it. I love One Direction. I love hairstyle. Just gets me in the mood when I go back there to get nates.
Regardless of the reasons, all of the players enjoyed hearing their tune blaring from the speakers when they head back to the service line.
I did notice the song. Like the very first time that I went back and served when they were first starting them, like I heard it. It just kind of made me laugh. You know, it kind of gets you relaxed when you're going back and serving.
Yeah, I hear it, and it always makes me smile and kind of helps me relax a little bit before I serve.
The girls all have their favorites from their teammates as well.
Sarah Wickstrom, her song is probably my favorite.
One of my favorites is Katie's All Star. That's always a good song.
Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play.
And as long as the Seminoles keep serving up aces, this tradition will continue to play on in Tully Gym. Lane Hurt, Seminoles.com.
The Seminoles return for a 5-game home stretch to finish out the regular season on November 17th. Come out to Tully Gym and hear the Seminoles sing a new tune as they look to serve their way to another NCAA tournament appearance. I'm Scott Kotick, and we'll see you next week on Seminole Sports Magazine.